The battlefield was silent in the first moments after the blast, only smoke rising from broken metal and destroyed alien stone. Lieutenant Aaron Hale walked through the dusty air with slow steps, his armor cracked, his breathing heavy, yet his eyes focused ahead. He was the last surviving human soldier in that ruined valley, but he did not know that something impossible waited for him inside the fallen alien temple. Aaron felt the ground shaking under his boots, a low vibration like a dying creature taking its final breath. He raised his weapon, expecting enemy drones or hunters, but nothing came forward, only the strange sound, calling him deeper into the broken temple. He knew he should leave, he knew the mission was over, but something inside told him to continue, as if fate itself wanted him to walk through those shattered stone doors. Inside, the air changed, heavy, warm, almost alive. Glowing blue threads of energy pulsed on the walls, forming symbols he did not understand. Aaron looked around, confused, thinking this place was abandoned, but then he heard a voice, soft and shaking, a voice that did not belong to any human, a voice filled with pain and fear. "Help, please, someone, anyone." Aaron stopped breathing for a moment, his heart beating so hard he felt it in his throat. He knew that voice was not human, but it was not hostile either. It was a voice begging, a voice breaking, as if the speaker had lost everything. He followed the sound deeper, until he reached the center chamber, and there, lying in chains of glowing energy, was the one being the galaxy feared the most, the Zerithian Queen, ruler of one of the most powerful alien empires, the same empire that had destroyed dozens of human colonies. Yet the creature before him did not look like a tyrant. She looked weak, wounded, and filled with terror. Her silver eyes widened when she saw him, shock freezing her for a second, then her voice trembled. "Impossible, a human survived." Aaron did not speak, he only stared, unsure what to do. The queen struggled against the energy chains, but each movement made them spark with pain. She winced, her breathing sharp and shallow. Aaron could see the fear in her face, not fear of him, but fear of something else, something worse. Aaron scanned the room and noticed ancient weapons pointed at her heart, automated systems counting down silently. He checked the display beside her, and his blood went cold. She had 3 minutes left, then she would be executed by her own empire, her own people, abandoned and condemned. She whispered again, her voice breaking, "Human, listen. I know your kind hates mine. I know we were enemies, but if you walk away, I will die, and the galaxy will lose more than you know." Aaron felt conflict inside him. She was the enemy ruler, the face of their suffering, but something about this moment felt wrong. Something about her fear looked too real, too human, even though she wasn't one. He stepped closer slowly, raising his hands to show he meant no harm. Her eyes followed him, wide, hopeful, and confused. "Why are they doing this to you?" Aaron asked quietly, his voice echoing through the chamber. The queen took a long breath, then whispered, "Because I tried to stop the war, and they called it betrayal. They want a new queen, one who will continue fighting forever." Aaron looked at the countdown again, 2 minutes, his mind raced. If he saved her, humanity might call him a traitor. If he left her, he would be no different from the monsters she feared. The room shook again, dust falling from the ceiling, the execution weapons powering up. The queen's voice cracked, "Please. I don't want to die, not like this, not alone." Aaron's hands tightened on his weapon, not in anger, but in a decision he knew would change everything. He stepped toward the energy chains, sparks flashing around his arm, pain biting into his skin, but he did not stop. He reached toward the control panel, ignoring the burning heat spreading across his fingers. The queen gasped softly, shocked that a human, an enemy, was trying to save her. Aaron gritted his teeth, forcing the panel open, wires glowing dangerously. The countdown reached 1 minute, alarms screamed, red lights flooding the room. Aaron knew he had only one chance, one moment, one heartbeat to choose his path, and in that instant, something inside him whispered the truth. This was not a mission anymore. This was destiny. With a final breath, Aaron slammed his hand into the power core. Electricity exploded around him, the chains shattered in a burst of blinding blue light, and the queen collapsed into his arms as the execution weapons shut down with a dying hiss. She looked up at him with stunned eyes, whispering the words she never thought she would say to a human. "You saved me." And for the first time, Aaron felt the weight of what he had done. He had changed the fate of 2 species with one act of courage. For a moment, Aaron stood frozen, holding the weakened alien queen in his arms, the glowing blue sparks from the shattered chains fading into silence. He could feel her trembling, every breath she took thin and unsteady. She had the strength of a ruler, yet right now she looked like a fragile being fighting to stay alive. Before he could speak, the ground shook again, this time stronger, heavier, like a giant walking above them. The queen lifted her head slightly, her silver eyes widening. "They are coming, my execution guards. They will not let me leave, and they will kill you first." Aaron narrowed his eyes. He switched his weapon to full charge, scanning the broken temple for any exit, but the walls around them were collapsing, dust falling in thick clouds. He felt the weight of each second slipping away. If they stayed here, they would die together. "Can you walk?" he asked firmly. The queen tried to move but winced as pain shot through her limbs. She shook her head. "My energy, it is too low. I can barely stand." Aaron did not hesitate. He adjusted his grip and lifted her carefully. She was light, far lighter than a human of her size. Her body felt warm, almost glowing with faint energy. She stared at him in disbelief. "You are helping me, even now." Aaron didn't answer with words. He only tightened his hold and moved toward the far tunnel. But before he took 3 steps, the temple doors burst open with a violent shockwave. A squad of Zerithian elite soldiers stormed inside, their armor black and their weapons pulsing with deadly red light. One of them shouted, "Human detected, eliminate on sight." Another aimed his weapon at the queen. "Captive queen compromised, proceed with final termination." The queen gasped, her fingers clutching Aaron's arm. "Please, don't let them take me back. They will torture me before they kill me." Aaron felt anger rise inside him, not for war, not for revenge, but for the cruelty he saw in their eyes. They weren't soldiers doing a duty, they were hunters enjoying the suffering of their own queen. He stepped forward, blocking her with his body, his weapon raised. "Over my dead body," he growled quietly. The soldiers opened fire, red beams slicing through the air. Aaron dove behind a shattered pillar, shielding the queen with his armor. Sparks flew as the shots bounced off stone and metal. The queen whispered weakly, "You cannot fight all of them. They are trained to kill humans. They destroyed thousands during the war." Aaron checked his weapon's energy level, only 30% left, not enough for a long battle, but enough for something bold, something desperate. He slowly looked down at the queen, her eyes still full of fear, yet there was a strange light inside them, as if she believed in him more than she believed in her own people now. "Hold on to me," Aaron whispered. She placed her hand on his shoulder, her touch faint and warm like fading starlight. Aaron activated his suit's last emergency power surge, his armor glowing with a faint golden light. The sudden burst of energy surprised the alien soldiers, giving him one precious second. He sprinted forward, firing a rapid burst of blue shots that forced the enemy to scatter. But he wasn't trying to win. He was trying to escape. He leaped toward the eastern corridor, carrying the queen with him, the floor collapsing behind their steps, alien soldiers shouting warnings, the entire structure shaking violently, energy pulses shooting past them like streaks of lightning. The queen looked back and whispered, "Why do you risk your life for me? You owe me nothing, your people hate mine." Aaron replied without slowing down, "Because no one deserves to die alone, not even a queen." The queen stared at him, shocked, confused, moved, and for a moment she forgot the pain in her body. She had never heard such words from a human, she had never heard such kindness from anyone in her own empire. The tunnel led them to a high cliff outside the temple, the wind cold and sharp, the battlefield stretching far below. Aaron forced himself to breathe steadily, his muscles burning from carrying her weight. The queen looked at the sky and whispered, "We are trapped, there is no escape from up here." But Aaron saw something else, a broken transport ship half buried in the rocks below, its engines still glowing faintly, damaged but alive. A small chance, a dangerous chance, but still a chance. "We're jumping," Aaron said calmly. The queen's eyes widened. "What? Humans are mad." Aaron smiled faintly, "Only the ones who survive." He stepped back, holding her close, the alien soldiers reaching the cliff behind them, weapons aimed, ready to fire. Aaron looked down one last time, felt the queen's trembling breath against his armor, and whispered, Trust me. Then he jumped. The wind roared around them as they fell, the alien soldiers shouting in shock, the Queen clutching Aaron tightly, her eyes wide with fear and something new, hope. They crashed onto the transport roof with a thunderous impact, metal bending beneath them, the Queen gasping in pain, Aaron rolling to shield her from the fall, the ship groaning under the force but holding together. Aaron pushed up slowly, breathing hard, and whispered with a tired smile. "We're still alive, somehow." The Queen looked at him with wide, shaken eyes, and for the first time, she whispered something he never expected from an alien ruler. "You are not like the others, you are different, you are brave, and foolish, and kind." Aaron felt heat rise inside him, not from battle, but from something deeper, something he did not understand yet. And above them, the alien soldiers prepared their final attack, not realizing that this fall had changed everything. The broken transport ship groaned beneath their weight as Aaron pulled himself up, his armor scratched and smoking, the Queen lying beside him with slow, shallow breaths. She looked fragile, almost too weak to move, yet her eyes were steady as she watched him stand and scan the horizon. Above them, the alien soldiers raced down the cliff, shouting commands, their weapons glowing with deadly red sparks. Aaron's mind moved fast, he had only seconds to decide how to protect the Queen before they were surrounded again. The ship beneath them was old, damaged, and half buried, but maybe, just maybe, it still had enough power to carry them away. Aaron knelt beside her. "Can you give the ship any energy?" "Anything at all?" he asked. The Queen shook her head weakly. "My power is nearly gone, they drained it to keep me weak, but maybe, if I touch the core, I can give a little." Aaron helped her sit up, carefully supporting her back. She reached out her trembling hand toward the emergency panel, and as her fingers brushed the glowing crystal inside, a faint silver spark ran through her skin. The ship hummed softly, lights flickering like tired stars trying to wake up. But the Queen collapsed again, exhausted. "That is all I can do, the rest is yours now." Aaron nodded, lifting her gently and placing her inside the cockpit, the seats dusty and torn, the controls cracked. He strapped her in, his movements quick but gentle. She watched him silently, her chest rising and falling in uneven breaths. "You do not have to do this," she whispered. "You can leave, save yourself, you have no reason to die for me." Aaron looked at her with tired but determined eyes. "I'm not leaving you," he said simply, and the Queen felt something strange inside her chest, something she had never felt in all her years ruling an empire of billions, a small warmth rising where fear used to live. Outside, the alien soldiers reached the base of the cliff, their commander stepping forward with a cruel smile. "Human, surrender the Queen and you may live," he shouted. "Resist, and you will be erased." Aaron took the pilot's seat, gripping the controls tightly. "That's not happening," he muttered under his breath. The engine sputtered weakly, coughing out blue sparks, the ship shaking as if deciding whether to die or fight. Aaron pressed the ignition again. The Queen whispered, "You must believe, even if the ship does not." Aaron slammed the ignition a third time, and suddenly the ship roared to life, blue flames shooting from the engines. The alien soldiers fired instantly, their red beams hitting the ship at multiple points, sparks flying everywhere. Aaron pulled the control lever, shouting, "Hold on." The ship lifted into the air, slow at first, then faster as the engine steadied, but the alien squad fired again, a shot hitting the rear thruster, the ship spinning violently. The Queen cried out as the world turned upside down. Aaron gritted his teeth, struggling with the controls, fighting the spin with every bit of strength left in his arms. Finally, with a sharp pull, he stabilized the ship, both breathing hard, both shaken. The Queen looked at him with wide eyes. "You fly like a madman," she whispered. Aaron allowed a faint smile. "You get used to it." But they were not safe yet. Two alien interceptors appeared behind them, sleek black ships cutting through the smoke-filled sky. The Queen's face darkened. "Those ships do not miss. They were designed to hunt rebels, and traitors like me." Aaron scanned the controls, finding only two working weapons. Weak ones, outdated ones, nothing like human warships carried. "We're not fighting them," he said calmly, "we're outrunning them." The Queen looked at him as if he had lost his mind. "Outrun those monsters, with this dying ship?" Aaron pushed the throttle forward, the engines screaming in protest, the ship shaking so hard the Queen grabbed the seat to steady herself, wind howling around them as they raced through the canyon below, rocks breaking under the force of their flight. Behind them, the alien interceptors approached fast, too fast, red targeting lasers locking onto the ship's back. Aaron felt his heartbeat spike, the Queen's eyes widened with terror. They will fire. Aaron, they will hit us. Yes, Aaron said quietly, unless we vanish. With a sudden, reckless move, he dived the ship into a narrow cave entrance, the wings scraping stone, sparks flying, the Queen gasping as they squeezed through a space barely wide enough for them. The alien interceptors pulled back, unable to follow. The ship slid deeper into the darkness until the engines finally died with a long, low sigh. Silence fell inside the cave, only the echo of dripping water and their heavy breathing filling the air. Aaron leaned back in his seat, exhausted but alive. The Queen closed her eyes, relief flooding through her for the first time since her capture. "You saved me, again," she whispered, her voice softer, gentler than before. Aaron looked at her, his face calm but his eyes carrying the weight of everything they had endured. "I'm not done yet," he said quietly. "We're getting out of this planet alive." The Queen studied him, her silver eyes glowing faintly in the darkness. "Why do you speak like that? Like you and I are one team." Aaron hesitated, then spoke with quiet honesty, "Because whether you believe it or not, we are." The Queen felt her heart beat strangely, a feeling she didn't understand, a warmth she wasn't used to. She whispered almost to herself, "Human hearts are strange." Aaron smiled softly, "You'll get used to it." But before they could rest, a deep, ancient rumble echoed through the cave, something moving in the shadows, something large, something alive. The Queen's eyes widened. "Aaron, we are not alone in here." Aaron reached for his weapon slowly, the darkness shifting in front of them, as a massive creature stepped closer, its eyes glowing red like dying stars. The Queen whispered with trembling breath, "This cave is the home of the Stone Titan, and it does not let anyone leave alive." Aaron held his weapon tight, stood in front of the Queen, and whispered back. Then it picked the wrong human to scare. The cave shook as the Stone Titan stepped forward, each footstep cracking the ground like thunder, its enormous body made of layered rock, glowing veins of molten light running through its chest, its eyes burning with ancient fury. Aaron stood in front of the Queen, weapon raised, body tense, ready for a fight he knew he could not truly win, but he would die trying if it meant keeping her alive. The Queen whispered his name with fear, "Aaron, this creature is older than my empire, older than your species. You cannot kill it, none of us can." Aaron didn't look back, his voice steady, "I don't need to kill it. I just need to keep it away from you." The Titan raised its massive arm, the cave rumbling as stones fell from the ceiling. The Queen grabbed Aaron's shoulder, her voice trembling, "Move, please, we must run, we must hide." But there was no place to run, no tunnels left, no engines working on the ship, no escape at all. The Titan's glowing hand came down like a falling mountain. Aaron pushed the Queen aside and rolled with her to the ground, the Titan's strike hitting the ground where they stood just seconds earlier. Dust and debris filled the air. The Queen coughed weakly, her energy too low to stand. Aaron helped her up again, his armor scratched and cracked. The Titan took another step forward, its roar echoing through the cave like a storm. "We need another plan," Aaron muttered, searching the cave walls for anything they could use. The Queen's eyes flickered with a weak glow. "There is one possibility, but it is dangerous for both of us." Aaron looked at her, his voice soft but urgent, "Tell me." The Queen touched her chest weakly, "My people drew power from the core of this planet, from the ancient energy inside it. The Stone Titan protects that energy, because it is made from it." Aaron narrowed his eyes, "Meaning if I give you my last energy, even a small part, you might be able to touch the Titan's heartstone, long enough to stun it." Aaron stared at her with surprise, "You can do that? Give me your power." The Queen nodded slowly, "Yes, but if I do, I will fall unconscious, maybe for hours, maybe more, and I will be defenseless." Aaron moved closer, his voice gentle, "I won't let anything happen to you." She hesitated, staring into his eyes, trying to understand this strange human who risked everything for her. She placed her glowing hand on his chest plate, a faint silver light spreading through his armor, into his skin, into his bones. He felt a warm surge, powerful but soft, like a heartbeat that wasn't his own. The queen whispered, "Do not waste it. Aaron, this is everything I have left." Aaron closed his eyes, nodding once. When he opened them, the Titan roared again, lifting its enormous arm for another strike, and for the first time Aaron felt something new: speed, strength, clarity. His vision sharpened, the world slowing around him. He sprinted forward with impossible speed, the queen gasping as she watched him move like lightning. The Titan swung its arm, but Aaron slid beneath it, sparks flying as he dragged his weapon across the creature's stone skin. He reached the Titan's chest, the molten heartstone pulsing like a living sun. He leapt onto the creature's arm and ran up its body, each step echoing in the cave. The queen watched with wide eyes, whispering his name, afraid he would fall. The Titan roared again, shaking violently, trying to throw Aaron off, but he held on, climbing higher until he reached the glowing heartstone at the center of its chest. He raised his hand, now glowing with the queen's silver light, and slammed it against the stone. The impact sent a shockwave through the cave, the Titan's body freezing, cracks spreading across its chest, glowing brighter and brighter. Aaron held on tightly, teeth gritted, his arm burning with pain as the energy surged through him. Finally, with a deafening roar, the Titan collapsed to one knee, its body losing its glow, its eyes dimming until only silence remained. Aaron slid down its shoulder, landing hard on the ground, breathing fast, sweat dripping down his face. He stumbled toward the queen, his legs weak from the energy drain. She was lying against the cave wall, her eyes half closed, her strength fading completely. Aaron fell beside her, catching her before she hit the ground. The queen whispered faintly, "You did it, you stunned the Titan." Aaron brushed dust from her cheek, his voice soft, "You saved us both, with your power, with your trust." Her lips trembled, the faintest smile appearing. "I trusted you, because you showed me something no one else ever did." Aaron leaned closer. "What's that?" Her eyes softened, glowing faintly in the dark. "Mercy, and loyalty, even to an enemy." Aaron felt something warm inside him, something he had not expected to feel toward the queen he had met only hours ago. He whispered, "You're not my enemy anymore." Her breath caught, her voice barely a whisper now. "Aaron, stay close, please. I feel cold." He wrapped his arm around her, pulling her gently against his chest, her body weak but alive, her head resting on his shoulder as she slipped into unconsciousness, her final words soft as fading starlight. "Don't leave me." Aaron held her tighter, whispering back, "I won't. I promise." Outside the cave, distant engines echoed through the night. A new threat approaching. An army searching for their missing queen. And Aaron knew. The real battle was only beginning. Aaron stayed close to the alien queen as she rested against his chest, her breathing slow but steady, the dim glow of her energy fading softly. The cave was dark and silent now, the stone Titan stunned and unmoving like a fallen mountain, yet Aaron felt danger returning in the air, a sharp vibration, a distant hum growing louder with every second. He lifted his head, listening carefully. The sound wasn't the Titan, it wasn't the cave, it was engines, dozens of them. The queen stirred weakly in his arms, her voice soft and frightened. "They found us, my empire, they are coming to finish me." Aaron tightened his hold around her. "Let them come," he whispered, and the queen opened her tired eyes, surprised by the calm in his voice, surprised by the courage in his face even after all they had survived. The cave entrance glowed red as elite Zerithian soldiers entered, their armor shining, their weapons humming with deadly power. The commander stepped forward, his cold voice echoing through the darkness. "Human, you have committed the highest crime, you have touched our queen, saved our traitor, and killed our sacred beast." Aaron stood slowly, keeping the queen supported with one arm, his weapon in the other. "I didn't kill the Titan," he said calmly, "I only stopped it from killing her." The commander ignored his words, raising his weapon. "The queen must die. Her attempt to stop the war is unforgivable. She betrayed us, and you, human, will die beside her." The queen tried to speak, but her voice cracked. "I only wanted peace. I only wanted to end the bloodshed, Why is that betrayal? The commander sneered, empires are not built on mercy. Eren stepped forward, placing himself fully between her and the army, his armor cracked, his body exhausted, but his eyes sharp with fire. Maybe your empire isn't, but humanity is. A ripple of confusion spread through the alien soldiers. The commander flinched with anger. You dare stand against us? Alone? Eren lifted his weapon, his voice steady. I'm not alone, not anymore. At that moment, a soft glow rose behind him, the queen's hand touching his back, her energy faint but alive. She whispered, Eren, you stood for me. I will stand with you. Her silver energy flowed into him again, not as powerful as before, but enough to strengthen his weakening body, enough to revive hope inside him. The alien soldiers hesitated, shocked to see their queen sharing energy with a human, something no Zerithian ruler had ever done in history. The commander roared, fire! Kill them both! But just as the soldiers prepared to shoot, the cave walls trembled, a deep rumble shaking the ground, dust falling like rain. The soldiers turned in fear, their eyes widening as the stone titan, stunned but alive, slowly rose behind them, glowing cracks spreading across its stone body like angry lightning. The titan lifted its massive head, its red eyes focusing not on Eren, not on the queen, but on the Zerithian soldiers who had invaded its sacred cave. With a roar that shook the earth, the titan slammed its massive hand into the ground, sending shockwaves through the chamber, soldiers flying like leaves in a storm. Eren held the queen tightly as the ground shook, whispering, stay with me, don't slip away. She leaned her head against his chest, her voice trembling but warm, I am here, only because of you. The remaining soldiers scrambled to escape, their fear overpowering their loyalty. The commander shouted orders, but none listened. The titan roared again, forcing the last survivors to flee back into the tunnels, leaving Eren and the queen alone once more. Silence fell slowly, like dust settling after a long storm. The titan turned its massive head toward Eren and lowered its body, bowing its stone crown in a slow, ancient gesture. Eren stared in disbelief. The queen whispered softly, it recognizes you. The titan bows to protectors of life. You fought to save me, so it accepts you. Eren placed his hand on the titan's warm stone surface, the creature's glowing cracks softening, calming, then dimming to peace again as it lowered itself to sleep once more, its duty fulfilled. Eren turned back to the queen, lifting her carefully, we need to get you medical help, your energy is too low, we need a ship. The queen looked up at him, her eyes soft, filled with gratitude no one had ever seen in her before. Eren, you changed everything today, you changed my fate. You changed the path of two species. Eren carried her out of the cave, the dawn rising over the broken wasteland, painting the sky in soft blue and gold. The queen rested her head against him, whispering, human warrior, you are the only one who did not fear me, the only one who saw me as more than a ruler. Eren smiled softly, I saw someone worth saving. Her breath caught, her voice gentle as starlight, and I saw someone worth trusting. As they reached the open horizon, a human rescue ship descended through the clouds. Eren signaled it, holding the queen close. She closed her eyes, whispering her final words before sleep. Stay with me, please. Eren held her tighter, his voice firm and warm, I'm not going anywhere. And for the first time in centuries, a human and an alien queen stood together. Not as enemies. Not as rivals. But as two souls who changed the galaxy with one simple truth. Compassion is stronger than war.